Alright, here we have an old battery set that I picked up. I didn't pay much for it, about $25 I think. It's just a generic battery set. It says it's made by Chelsea Super 5 Chelsea Radio Company, whoever that is. It's some obscure radio company from back in the 20s. Okay, it's a 5-tube, and you can see it doesn't have much in the way of coils or anything. It's pretty much a generic type of radio. Okay, we're going to try to get this thing working. Alright, it's a mess. It's been sitting in the attic for 15 years. So we'll go ahead and do a little wiping down and hook up a power supply to it, put some tubes in it, and see if it'll work. Okay? Okay, I've got a batch of tested 1920'S here, and we'll just stick them all in there. Okay, let me look at the sockets first. Okay, the sockets are corroded as all get out. So what we're going to do, we're going to reach down in there with a knife and we're going to scrape the bottoms of the sockets because we want them to be nice and shiny and contacty. This thing's called a rotozip bit, and I'm using it not because it's a rotozip, but just because it's long and I can stick it down in there. We're just going to touch the surface of the bit to the contact and just polish it up. Just make it to where it's metal shaped and metal colored instead of old dull brown. Okay, that shines them up a little bit. They just have little scratch marks all over them, so that makes them to where they'll contact really good. Alright, now we'll stick tubes in. These particular sockets, you push down and you twist it just a little bit clockwise to lock it in. It has a little pin on the side, and there's a little groove on the side of the socket. You just line that pin up and you push it down and then turn it to the right just a little bit and it catches in the socket. Alright, now that fills us up with tubes. Now I'm just going to wipe the front of this off a little bit. I'm not going to clean it good. Once we get it playing, then we'll take it apart and we'll clean that panel up and make it look beautiful, and the knobs and make them look beautiful, that sort of thing. But right now I'm just gonna clean off the dust a little bit here where it's a little easier to fool with. Okay, the rheostats turn good. These all turn good. Sometimes these things are frozen up and you got to work them loose, and that can be a real job. This one here, we're lucky. Everything's loose and ready to go. This is the on-off switch. We may have to get in there and grind that to get contact on it, but we'll find out when we connect power. Now, to connect power, okay, that's done in the back. Okay. We've got, these are nicely labeled. We have B+, B+ 45, B-, A+, and A-. So it's real straightforward. I don't know what these two down here are for. They don't have any labeling on them. And these two over here are going to be the antenna and ground. Oh yeah, they're labeled. They're labeled. I don't know what these two are for, but the first thing we'll do is we'll try connecting power to these up here and see if it works. We may have something to do here, but I don't know. I'm just going to set this here And right in the front here, we have one says phones and one says speaker. All right, we got a speaker here. We'll go ahead and use it. All right. Now, this is our power supply. This is a home-built power supply. It has everything on it. It's a professional power supply that I built myself, since I do this professionally, supposedly. And it has digital readouts. Let me see if it plugs in. I don't know if it'll do anything or not. There we go. And we have our 22 volt power supply, 45 volts, 67, and 90 volts. And the 90 volt one is adjustable. We can go from, you know, anything to anything. We can go from about 12 volts up to 90. It's just for the final stage. The others are regulated, and they will be used for the intermediate stages. And each one has a separate output and a current meter to read the current. And then we've got our filament supply, which is adjustable from 0 to or 1.2 actually to 5 volts. Okay, and we'll set that to 5 volts, which is what we use for 01A tubes. Then our C supply, probably we won't need it. It's variable from 0 to 28 volts and negative. Now, another thing, the power supply has got built-in switches so that I can connect the commons of the power supplies into various different combinations that are used in these radios. Sometimes A minus is hooked to B minus, sometimes A plus is. You just have a switch here that you can go ahead and select that, to where you don't have to sit there and fool with jumpers and things to connect them all up. Just a nice little power supply to make things easier. Okay, let's see. We got some wires here. Hoping to use gray for the plus and black for minus. That's for A. And we go over here. A minus goes to there. And I don't have the radio turned on right now, so we shouldn't read any current. We don't. Okay, if I pull the switch, we should see current. There we go. Okay, we're reading 0.8 amps for our tubes, which is about right for 5 of the 01As. Alright, next we're going to hook up our main B plus. Okay, that's going to go to our high voltage one. Okay, I'm going to connect it. Now I'm going to hook the common onto A minus. That's where they show it. And I'm going to hook this high voltage here. We have 85 volts. I'm going to hook it to B plus. Alright, we're reading 27 or 2.7 milliamps. Okay, then we're going to connect our, let's see, we have B minus. Okay, that's already hooked up. Okay, now the next one we need is plus 45. Okay, we go into here, 45, and we hook it onto here. Okay, we're getting 2 milliamps there, 2.9 there. That's a little low. I would say it's a little low. Now, their B minus is already connected up. We don't have to worry about it. So we're just going to go ahead and we'll try it like this. Okay, next we have to plug in our speaker and see if we get anything. Okay, we'll hook an antenna. Let me get an antenna. Okay, let's see. Antenna goes right here. And ground is through the power supply, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, for now, we're going to use the indoor antenna. I have just an indoor antenna. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it shows up a little. You can see it right here. It's just going from curtain rod to curtain rod. It's just about, I would estimate, 10 feet long total. And we'll just use the indoor antenna to try it. I've got a nice outdoor antenna, too, if it doesn't work. Okay, the next thing to do is to plug the speaker in. Okay, we got the speaker jacks here. Getting some noise. Alright, now I'm going to set them to about 40 and see what happens. Well, that doesn't sound too good. Nothing coming through, so we're going to have to go ahead and pull it out and see what we got to do to it. Alright, we'll get it out of the box and see what we've got to do to make this thing work. Pulling it out of the box. Oh boy. I don't know if they made this thing serviceable or not. Alright, I'll forgive them. I'll forgive them for now. Alright, we get the... Look at that! They are nails with threads on the end of them. And what they did was they shoved them through and put the nut from the bottom. Okay, that I'll buy that. That's not too bad. It's a little bit... unconventional. Okay, now this. Okay, I'm going to take these and we're going to see. Alright. Okay, there's that part. Okay, this here, okay, they're calling that C minus. Okay, that's what this other wires down below is for, C minus. Okay, we are not going to use C minus in here, so we're going to cut it out. Those two extra ones are gone. C minus is not necessary in these radios. Okay, and we'll cut that one out of there. Okay. Now, we're in a little bit better condition. We still got everything hooked to this dumb box, but at least we can get to the bottom. Alright, let's move back. Move back. Okay, we got the panel. And there's the underside of the radio. Okay, you can see here. Okay, here's our RF coils, and these are the two audios. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to measure the audios and make sure that they're good. They probably are, because we were getting some noise out of them. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to measure all of the transformers. If one of them is burned out, then it's useless, okay? Okay, we're on a 1K scale on our little meter here, old-fashioned triplet, and we will go and just start measuring. Oh boy, let me get out of here. Okay, we got it. Okay, that transformer's okay. One of them goes to the plate, the other goes to there. Alright, the next one, I'm going to go here. And I'm going to look. Okay, and it goes to that one. So that one's okay. All right, the transformers are okay. They're okay. What we're going to do is we're going to hook the C minus, which are the bottoms of the grid windings. We're going to hook that to ground instead of to that terminal on the back there. We don't need that terminal on the back. That is that's overkill for a radio like this. All right, so we're going to unsolder that. A nice little job. Okay. Well, we're just going to take those two and we're going to solder them over there, and that's going to take care of that. See, this is probably why we were getting that oscillation. Is we didn't have C minus connected. So that left the grids open. All right, go from there to there. I'm going to use a soldering gun for this kind of connections. They're heavy connections. You need a lot of heat so that you can get them heated up there. Okay. If they don't get hot enough, you can't break through the oxide and they don't solder good. But with this gun you can get up to 900 degrees. That'll break the oxide on any of these wires. Tube. Audio tube. And detector tube. Okay. Now, that gives us the 2 audio tubes and the detector tube. All right, we've got the 3 audio tubes in it, and we've got the grid connected to ground. Okay, I've got the signal generator set to about 800 hertz, and I'm going to hook it to the detector stage. So we've got audio signal all the way through from the detector to the speaker. Okay, the next we're going to do is we're going to try going to the input of the detector and see if we can get a signal there. Now to do that I have to go ahead and set the signal generator to a modulated RF signal. I'm going to set it to about 1 megahertz and modulate it at 800 hertz. Okay, I'm not getting anything. Not getting anything at all there. That should be mucho better than that. So it indicates that the tube is not rectifying. This should be a heck of a lot louder than that. We got a tremendous signal. Let's see if this grid leak resistor is any good. Alright, it reads 1 megohm. That's good enough. Alright. Interesting. Okay. Well, my chair is occupied. What you gonna do? You're just gonna sit there and take my chair? Look at that little baby. Aww. Okay, so what we're gonna have to do, connect up a scope to it and see what's going on here, because this is not working. Alright, since this is so rinky-dink here, what I'm going to make some little brackets, and they're going to fit on here, and we're going to fasten the panel onto the back to where we can get this all wired properly and work on it better. It's just too rinky-dink having this loose like this. It's just not fun to work on. So I'm just going to make these up and bolt them on there, and that's going to make it a much nicer assembly. Okay, and we're just going to take this here. Okay, and there we go. See how nice that is? That holds it. Then that'll slide into the radio cabinet and be done. Okay, the next thing to do is to clean the wiring up on this thing. Okay, look at this mess it is. Okay, see, they had to have a mess like that before because they had to be able to flex it around. Let's see, like that one there, it should be run right over. Okay, I see real trouble here. If we look very carefully at these plates, they're touching. Okay, here, when we get to right here, there's a couple of them down in there that are touching. Okay, this bottom one here, okay, this one looks okay, but these two, when we get to a certain point, then the plates start touching. This comes from the, what happens is this pot metal that they cast it with, it expands and torques and makes a mess, and the result is that you end up with the plates touching. So these are going to have to be bent this way. Okay, I'm going to take each of these plates and I'm going to bend it out just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah, just enough. Okay, let's see what that did. Okay, it's better, but it's still touching. It's better, but it's still touching. Okay, I've got to bend here. See, I'm watching the meter over here. See, when I contact it, okay, if I rotate it, it shouldn't change. Okay, that's good and solid now. Okay, and then this one down here, go to the second one. See, that sits pretty solid, okay? And then we go to the... Okay, we've got all the capacitors to where, tuning condensers to where they're not touching. Okay, we've got all the power hooked up again and everything, and got our antenna hooked onto it. Now, let's see, we just have to tune. Ooh, I hear somebody talking.
Weekly or even daily income using their patented supply and demand strategy. Plus, this month, they'll send you home with their free investor kit, loaded with guides to smarter investing and lessons from the pros, just for attending. Register now by calling 888-662-TRADE.
There we go.
662-80 firm involved in producing a dossier on President Trump's ties to Russia. The jury in the fraud trial of former Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort will resume deliberations Monday.
The jury is now deliberated for more than 14 hours over a 2-day span, and they knew there wasn't going to be a verdict today because this afternoon they asked if they could go home early, and the judge said yes. Judge T.S. Ellis today also denied.
That's with just that little bit of antenna we get that much volume. With just this little piece of wire.
And CNN to unseal the names of the jurors.
All right. Even with just that, we can hear the signal. That's a good.
This is the sound of a brand new outdoor grill being hurled off a 20-story building.
Isn't it amazing? Just that little bit of antenna is all we've got. Okay, that gets it all working. All right.
These are the things.
All right, now we have to drill. Good. Okay, here goes. Okay, that's pulled it down. Okay. Is not really in place. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pry that out. I'll put some glue in there, and I'm going to clamp the heck out of it. All right. All right, we just let that harden for an hour or two, and that'll be good. Okay, this has been sitting here for 4 hours. It's ready to undo. Get the threads loose. There we go. Okay. Okay. All right, that looks good. All right, now we're going to go ahead and color it, stain it. Okay, here I have dark walnut stain. This is Minwax. It's kind of a cheap stain, but it works pretty good. I'm just going to take it's a swab of felt, and I'm just going to go ahead and wipe the, oh, that looks good. It looks really good. We just take and saturate the wood with it. We have to let that dry completely. Completely dry. Okay, that looks really, really good. Okay, that's going to do the trick. Okay. All right, I'm going to spray it with clear lacquer. Well, that's a bright move. I forgot to mask off the terminals in the back. All right, we'll do that. Let's go get it. Okay, we're going to let that dry, then we'll put the second coat. Now, the next thing we have to do is clean this panel up. It's dirty from year after year after year of being in the attic. Okay, now, to get these off of here, okay, we've got set screws. Rust onto the shafts. Ha! No problem. Well, we're going to go ahead and clean this front panel. And to do that, we're going to use some acetone. Okay, I'll get some acetone. Alright, got a little bit of acetone here. Rag. And we're just going to wipe this down. This will take all the grease and dirt and stuff off of it and leave the panel ready to shine up. Not a lot on it, not a lot of dirt on it. Mostly dusty. It wasn't very dirty. Some of them are just absolutely disgustingly dirty, but this one was mostly just dusty. You can see a little bit of dirt there. Okay, we're going to try to go ahead and intensify these markings. What I have here is some cream colored paint, plain old acrylic paint. We'll see if it works. I don't know if it will. You know, the engraving is not very deep. Okay. It looks like it's all right. Now, we have a fiber brush. This is the soft fiber brush, the Dremel tool. We're going to use that just to clean the engraving and the knurling off of the knob. You just take that and we take it and put it in the drill. Just have a piece of shaft in the drill. And we just take a piece of steel wool. Okay, just cleans it totally off of there. So that gives us a perfectly clean knob. Okay, we'll do that to the other two, and we'll be done. Go ahead and remove.
It's two things at once. It's two things at once. It is a moment of a speech from a politician.
See how nice that is?
A window to that politician, but it may also be a window to a larger truth that's been a little awkward to discuss. The overall heading is, "Do liberals love America?" And I might augment that question. That sounds like such platitude, such talk show red meat. Do liberals love America? Let's go to the phones, and I can do that. I can do that all day. But I like to do things in a somewhat.
That looks really good. Really, really good. Alright, what I've done is I've sprayed the front of the panel with clear lacquer. That just takes in, it intensifies the color. Sometimes there'll be just little shades showing up of the more worn parts from the fresher parts, and when you spray it with that lacquer, it seals all that off and gives it a nice, beautiful glazed look. Just plain clear lacquer. All the hardware was masked off, so we don't get lacquer in the places that it shouldn't be. Okay. Now, okay, you set these down exactly straight, and then okay, now that finishes the radio itself. Okay, now we have to put it in the box. Okay. Now, the first thing that we got to do is connect up these wires that connect up everything, okay? I'll get these wires hooked up, and then we can slide her in there. That's going to do it. Okay. We're up a little bit, about maybe 3/8 of an inch up. So I'm going to bend that down. Alright, it goes right in there. Okay, now we've got screws that go in the side here to hold the top, and then we have screws in the back to hold that. Okay, so what I have to do, okay, those are number 6, and they're about that long. Okay. Okay, boy, that is just choice, okay? That is so perfect. It's just unbelievable. All right. Now, we've got the baseboard has to be held down. Now, that's going to take a long screw, about 4 inches long. Let me see what I've got. Okay, this is it. We got it finished. It looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, just, oh my goodness. The box looks good. Radio looks good. Excellent. Okay, we got the power supply hooked to it, speaker, antenna.
When you get a certain, past a certain line, I will say that, then it starts drying out. When you're driving up to the Texas Panhandle,
Sometimes putting the speaker in the other way makes it sound.
sometimes it's the season, they migrate. And so it is a pretty narrow landscape up there, but that's the image you get in the States from movies. It's like the image we get in Colorado, these mountains, but only about 1/3 of it. But they're about maybe half of the state is mountains, and half is flat. Right down the middle, buddy. It's just like here, that side, that side. It's far west Kansas is what it is. That was part of the Kansas territory. What's up?
I've got a paper here with the settings for different frequencies. I'm just trying to pick up different stations. Let's see, 1090 we've got one. Okay, that'll be 27. 22. 22, 14, 16. Well, that's it. All works. Excellent. All right. Well, that's restoring an old 20s battery set. Total time for this restoration took, let's see, it was a day for the radio, a day for the cabinet, and then another day to get it all working. About 3 days. About 3 days, working 5 or 6 hours a day.